I really don't see myself as qualified to talk about this area and aspect because I mean, I understand why people do this. I just, I see the simple solution. So I guess maybe I am qualified. Before we move on, this I manifested. That I did not. So, thank you to that master manifester that decided. I found that just laying on the ground, rained on, dirt all over it, and I didn't think it was gonna work and just so happened to plug it in and ta-da! So, we got that. Thank you. But it's a big fucking problem with jealousy. And jealousy derives from laziness. It really does. Jealousy is literally somebody believing that they deserve something without putting in the work. You can go to the dictionary yourself and look up the meaning of jealousy if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? What it is someone sees someone else with something that they want. Just as lack of a better example, somebody has a brand new car. And somebody really likes that type of car. It's their favorite type of car, and they want that type of car. So, any person within that position, I'm probably going to take this off, holy hell. You have two choices. Either you go out and work for that car or you steal that car. Both of them require effort. If you're going to steal something, not only do you have to create a plan to steal that thing, which actually takes a pretty cunning mind if you think about it, gain the tools to steal that thing, and then you also have to execute that plan that you just created. It still takes work. They just believe that it takes less work. And it's really for that instant gratification. Because you see the guy with the brand new car, but you don't see the 3 years it took him to, save up for that new car. Okay. So, realistically, what people are not understanding is that it's not the item that person loves so much. Yes, they love that item, but it's the value that they themselves put to it. They had to put in that energy and that effort, not go on this trip, that trip, or the other fucking trip so they could save this money. That's sacrificing. So they had to make sacrifices. They had to put in energy and effort. And all of these things add value. So while you're just seeing a materialistic item, that person sees their energy. That person sees their effort. That person sees their time. It is value. And it has been said forever. Okay? I can... Let's just say, you have absolutely no food, haven't eaten for, 3 days, all right? And I give you a loaf of bread. You're going to scarf down that loaf of bread and then you're going to expect more, right? But if I would invite you in to make that bread, you're going to eat that bread just a little bit slower because you can see your own time and energy in it. You're going to have a little more appreciation for that bread. And instead of expecting someone to give you more, you can now go and make more. Because not only did that person give you the bread, but they gave you the recipe to make the bread. So not only did you get food, you also got knowledge. And it's the same with our journeys. All right. If you were just given peace, would you really appreciate the peace? Or would it just be another thing? Because, I mean, the number one thing that people don't even think about, don't even attempt to appreciate, is just something that's there, is a shower. We've all had access to a shower or a bath or whatever you do. People's preferences are people's preferences. We have we have had access to this thing forever. And it is taken for granted. It really is. It is actually an expectation nowadays. Which, yes, okay, bathing is important because if you don't, you yourself will get extremely sick. Not like death sick, but you'll have a constant fucking cold pretty much. Okay? Bathing is important. But unless you would go without that, you would never know. To people, it's just to smell good. That's all. And that's what deodorant's for. Like, none of our deodorant, it all says that it prevents sweating, but none of it prevents sweating. It's just to smell good. That's why we shower, is just to smell good and to look clean. But if you would rewind quite a few years, people bathed to be healthy, not to smell good, not to look clean. Everybody stank. Everybody smelled like human. It was to wash out that dirt that, gets into your pores, into your mouth, eyes, nose, clogs up your nose, does a whole bunch of bullshit. And that's also why washing your hands is a thing. Because, you're touching your face, but you're also touching everything the fuck else. So it can get you sick. But this is where, with jealousy, there's no appreciation. There's absolutely no appreciation. Like, just personally, alright? My van. I appreciate the hell out of this van. Anybody else would have traded it in. Get something better. This fucking thing has been a reliable thing. And she is still moving and grooving like she was born yesterday. It's a 2001. It's a quarter of a century old. And I'm gonna keep riding her. If you don't have appreciation, then what's the point? You're just given everything. What is it you care about? I mean, you've already been given life. You didn't have to do anything for life. And we take it for granted. We complain about this and that. That's not going right. This ain't going right. I don't have that. I want this. And it's just taking it for granted. You know, none of us really asked to be here. We were just born. And then we were pitted against each other. Competition to your neighbor. Everything's a competition. And then you wonder why there's jealousy? In this society, you cannot get ahead. And then you wonder why people are stealing. Like, the problem comes to people only so far. You also got to look at the environment, the situations. Because everything has a hand in what we're doing. If you want to know what this says, go to my Instagram. Same name. So, while a jealous person wants the material thing that you have, the 3D item, object, person that you have, after they get that thing, they're gonna be on to the next because they have no appreciation for it. People are notorious for wanting what they don't have or what they can't have. Notorious for it. And it's just a game. That's all it really is to them, is just a game. Well, I can get that, and if I get that, then I've proved that I'm great. For about 20 minutes until you're on to the next thing that you're jealous about. Because we have it set in our minds that we want everything, and not even knowing what somebody means when they do say, I want everything or nothing. What that means to say I want everything or I want nothing. That means I want everything that God has promised me, or I don't want any of it. Either I will live in God's set purpose, with God's set things for me, or I will not at all. It is a declaration. It has nothing to do with materialism. It has nothing to do with money. Because, you know, I gotta get this off. Fucking ah! There. So, because, I mean, if you're actually going to live for God, then you should already understand that God has told you in, I believe it was Luke, to, he was talking about, the coins, the gold coins, and he said, whose insignia is this, and who owns this? Everyone says, well, Caesar. Okay. So then give back to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give back to God what belongs to God. And what is it that belongs to God? The earth, life, people. And yet, even to this day, we as mere mortal humans believe we own anything. Just like every king believed they owned the kingdom. It was only by the grace of God that they were able to build it at all. And in the beginning, they praise God. And then they just take that power. I hold the power. And that's why back in the day, the church was so... The church was the first government. They held the rules, the laws, the regulations. But you tell me... Because go back and look at some of the punishments that the churches would deal out. You tell me how anyone that's been led by God can devise such torturesome instruments. Like... what in your right mind makes you say that God told you to make the Judas cradle? The gateway to hell is through suffering. And who are we to decide where somebody goes? And that's literally what people were doing. They were sending other people to hell through suffering because they were the judge. And I'm sorry, but anybody who is talking about God and trying to teach about God, if you're sitting in there in $1,000 suit, big ass house, nice car sitting in your garage, I can't take you seriously. I can't. Because I can see where your prerogative really is. I can see where your value really is. It's not to teach of God, it is only to gain by God. And yes, it has been used and abused by the witty to enslave the simple. And they have made it so goddamn complicated for you to depend on them in order to figure out anything. When it's actually very, very simple. You don't have to go to anybody. God's within you. God is within you. The person watching this. The person that's in the other room that's not watching it. A person that's never even clicked on this. It's in everybody. You don't have to go seek out an outside influence. And everybody is so damn afraid of just being alone. Being in isolation. Being in quiet. But that's a result of the environment that we have been thrown into. Look around. The world is busy. Always noisy. Except for at nighttime. It's probably why I have insomnia. So of course, We're used to the hustle and bustle. So in order to, yeah, you would. Yeah. And so whenever we sit in quiet, we're not used to that. We believe that we should be doing something. Little do you know, you are doing something. You're taking out all the distractions. And whether you're sitting and meditating or not, God will still come to you. You don't have to sit there crisscross applesauce, eyes closed, in order for God to find you, in order for God to speak to you. You can literally just be coloring a picture, and God will speak to you. So, concern yourself not with what people have, and instead see the value that that person puts to that. And when you can see the value of it, then you can go back and see the work that they did. And you got how many people in jail and in prison for trying it the lazy way? And then excuse me. If you would take 20 minutes to build a house, 20 minutes is unrealistic, we'll say, a week to build a house, compared to someone who took months to build a house, which house are you going to trust? The one that they just slapped together quickly for profit to get an easy, quick gain? Or someone who took their time for quality, for the sake of doing it, instead of for the sake of gaining something? Because that's where we really need to start shifting. Everybody's all focused on personal gain. What can I get? What can I get? And we really need to just do the thing for the sake of doing the thing. It's like, every YouTuber that starts, that's how they started. Making videos just for the sake of making videos. At least I did. It wasn't to gain a profit. It wasn't to become famous. It was because they had something to say. And they said it. So, I got something else I gotta do. I love you all. Big hearts all around. And I love you.